Thank you very much. First, I would like to welcome you all for the first Students for Liberty Regional Conference in Israel. This event could not have taken place without the help of the activists, executives, and the leaders of the European branch of Students for Liberty, nor could have it been achieved without the help of all our Israeli volunteers like Gil in the Student for Liberty at the Israeli academic institution across the country. The success of a liberal students organization in the public atmosphere most of you are familiar with in the Israeli society is not to be taken lightly. Classical and modern liberal ideas are still pretty much unknown to the common Israeli. Many liberal thinkers have never been heard by even students at the academy. The translation to Hebrew of some fundamental liberal works, even as basic as The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, began only about 15 years ago. Nevertheless, within 2 years of activity, the presence of Students for Liberty grew up from a tiny group of very ambitious activists to an organization which is active in all 8 Israeli major academic institutions, as well as some medium-sized one. And the number of total activists of SFL in Israel has risen dramatically and now is over 100. The fear felt by many Israelis concerning what you may know as the time of siege, of a war unknown, though belongs to an age and a world order long gone, still exists. Just only in the beginning of this week, the leader of Israeli Labour Party was quoted saying that the import of eggs from Europe to Israel is the vision of Hezbollah to destroy the country. Yesterday, those who didn't hear this quote can just search it on Google. Yesterday, on my way home from work, I heard an interview with Boaz Arad, here he is, the head of the Israeli Freedom Movement, and he was speaking on the public station Reshet Bet. And though the interviewer agreed in some points that high taxation, over-regulation, and lack of competition caused the high cost of living in Israel, he was still defending the farmers, saying that in a day of war, again, the same unknown, unexisting war, Israel will have to rely on its own agriculture, and that is just a small sacrifice to save the life of everyone, or as Jean-Jacques Rousseau called it, for the public good, or the etat, how do they call it? I don't remember exactly what he said. But this irrational fear, based on more romanticism than realpolitik, is what helped keeping a large portion of the population of the country to support economic system which has failed in every society it was tried on. We are here to change that. The results so far are astonishing. Personally, my main fear was that no one would be interested in what we have to say. In reality, people were very interested and supportive of the ideas we promote, and though there is still a long way to go before we reach the promised land, as ironic as it can be when we are 70 kilometers from Jerusalem, we are on the King's Highway towards our destination. Today, it is not as embarrassing as it was before to say I'm a liberal. Today, suggesting a free trade economy as an alternative, with the example of the European Union, can be heard over the media as a legitimate opinion, as unpopular as it may be. And in the Israeli perspective, to say nowadays the army should become more efficient, that soldiers should get paid, and that all religious services should be privatized immediately, is no longer considered automatically as treason. But in order to reach this stage, and in order to advance further, we need more liberal leaders. And now I'm happy to give the stage to Anna in order to explain the idea of leadership of Students for Liberty.